If you've ever wondered why some people achieve extraordinary success while others struggle, the secret is simple: consistency. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not timing. It's showing up, day after day, even when you don't feel like it. Small actions, repeated consistently, compound over time. They grow into results you never thought possible. They turn ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement. In this audiobook, you will learn the principles of consistency. You will discover how to turn small daily actions into unstoppable momentum. You will learn how to overcome distractions, procrastination, and doubt. By the end of this audiobook, you will know exactly how to harness the power of consistency. You will have a roadmap to achieving your goals, one step at a time. Let's begin. Chapter 1: The Power of Small Efforts. Consistency starts with small actions. It is not about massive effort all at once. It is about doing a little every day. Most people underestimate the power of small actions. They think success requires big leaps. They wait for the perfect moment. They wait to feel ready. The truth is, small actions compound. They grow over time. They accumulate quietly, invisibly, until one day, they produce extraordinary results. Think about planting a seed. You water it daily. You give it sunlight. You protect it from weeds. At first, nothing seems to happen. Days pass. Weeks pass. And then, one day, the seed grows into a tree. The same principle applies to your goals. Writing 200 words a day becomes a book. Exercising 15 minutes daily transforms your body. Saving a small amount of money consistently builds wealth. Small efforts build momentum. Momentum makes action easier. Momentum turns tasks you once struggled with into routine. Momentum turns ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement. Consistency works even when motivation fades. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. Relying on motivation alone is a mistake. Small, repeated actions do not require motivation. They become automatic. They become habits. Habits are the engine of consistency. Another key is focus on the process, not the outcome. When you focus on results alone, you risk burnout. You risk frustration. You risk giving up too soon. Focus on what you can do today. Focus on the next small step. Focus on showing up. Focus on effort. The results will follow. Small daily actions accumulate faster than sporadic, intense effort. Consistency beats intensity over time. Most people fail because they overestimate what they can do in one day. They underestimate what they can achieve in a year. Small actions repeated daily lead to exponential results. This is called the compound effect. Small choices, repeated consistently, create massive impact. Every successful person uses this principle, whether consciously or not. Consistency also builds confidence. When you do small actions consistently, you prove to yourself that you can follow through. This self-trust grows. It strengthens discipline. It makes taking bigger actions easier. Fear of failure often prevents action. The power of small steps reduces fear. When you start small, failure is less intimidating. Small actions give you control. They allow you to build success incrementally. Small efforts also create habit loops. A cue triggers an action. The action becomes routine. A reward reinforces the habit. For example, if you decide to exercise every morning, the cue is waking up. The action is a short workout. The reward is feeling energized. Soon, this becomes automatic. Consistency becomes effortless. Another principle is strategic repetition. Focus on repeating the actions that create the most impact. Do not scatter your effort on many unimportant tasks. Choose wisely. Repeat consistently. Patience is critical. Small actions take time to show results. Do not expect overnight transformation. Transformation happens gradually, quietly, without fanfare. Tracking your actions reinforces small efforts. Keep a journal or checklist. Mark every completed action. Seeing progress motivates continued effort. Momentum builds with each checkmark. Celebrate small wins. Every completed action, no matter how minor, is proof of progress. Acknowledgement reinforces consistency. Small efforts also teach resilience. When setbacks occur, the habit of showing up daily carries you forward. You learn to persist despite challenges. You build mental toughness. Consistency also increases efficiency. The more you practice a task, the easier it becomes. Repetition reduces friction. Action becomes smoother, faster, and less energy-consuming. Remember, the biggest obstacle to starting is often perfectionism. People delay action because they want it to be perfect. Small steps defeat perfectionism. They allow progress despite imperfection. You can improve along the way. Another key is accountability. Share your small goals with someone. Report progress regularly. External accountability strengthens internal consistency. Systems make small efforts even more effective. When you create a structured approach, small actions are automatic. A habit system removes decision fatigue. It ensures you act daily, without relying on motivation. The most successful people are not those with bursts of intense effort. They are those who show up consistently. They take small, deliberate actions every day. They compound these actions into massive results. Here's a practical exercise. Pick one area of your life you want to improve. Decide on a small action you can do daily. Commit to doing it every day for 1 month. Track your progress. Notice the difference after 30 days. Small efforts also create discipline. Discipline grows when you act consistently, even without motivation. The more you practice, the stronger your self-control becomes. Discipline becomes a habit. Finally, understand that every great achievement starts small. Every master, every expert, every successful person started with a single step. They did not wait for perfect conditions. They did not rely on luck. They acted, consistently, every day. The secret to big results is not extraordinary talent. It is not rare opportunity. It is not chance. It is small actions, repeated consistently, day after day, month after month, year after year. And this is the principle we will explore in this audiobook. Consistency wins. Small efforts create big results. Your future is built one action at a time. Chapter 2. The Science of Consistency. Why repetition works. Consistency is not just a habit. It is a principle backed by science. The power of repetition creates lasting results. Neuroscience explains why consistent actions stick. Every time you repeat a behavior, your brain strengthens neural pathways. These pathways make the action easier to perform over time. This is how habits are formed. When you act consistently, your brain becomes wired for success. Tasks that once felt difficult become easier. Repetition turns effort into automatic behavior. This is why small, daily actions produce long-term results. The brain also rewards consistency. Repeated effort triggers small dopamine releases. Dopamine motivates you to continue the behavior. Over time, your brain associates consistency with reward. You begin to crave the habit itself. Psychologists call this the habit loop. It consists of a cue, a routine, and a reward. The cue triggers the action. The action becomes the routine. The reward reinforces it. Consistency strengthens willpower. Every repeated action builds self-control. The more you practice discipline, the easier it becomes to stay on track. Consistency becomes second nature. Behavioral studies confirm this. People who commit to small daily actions outperform those who rely on occasional bursts of effort. Success is the result of accumulated habits, not sudden inspiration. Consistency also reduces stress. When actions become routine, you do not have to decide whether to do them. Decision fatigue decreases. Your mental energy is preserved for high-impact work. This is why elite performers in any field rely on routines. Athletes, musicians, entrepreneurs, they all practice consistently. Their daily habits compound into extraordinary results. Talent alone is not enough. Consistency magnifies skill and effort over time. Repetition also builds momentum. Momentum makes action easier. The more you act, the easier it becomes to continue. Stopping becomes harder than continuing. Consistency works even when motivation fades. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. Consistency does not depend on emotion. It depends on action. Science also shows the power of the compound effect. Small, consistent actions compound over time like interest in a bank account. A tiny daily improvement, repeated consistently, leads to exponential growth. For example, improving just 1% every day creates massive results over a year. The power of accumulation is incredible. Small gains today become huge advantages tomorrow. Another principle is deliberate practice. Consistent, focused effort in small increments improves skill faster than occasional long sessions. Practice is more effective when repeated daily. Repetition allows the brain to encode skills deeply. Consistency also builds resilience. When you commit to daily effort, you learn to persist despite obstacles. Small actions repeated over time teach patience and perseverance. You develop a mindset that refuses to quit. Psychologists have found that habits reduce procrastination. When an action becomes habitual, it requires less thought. You no longer debate whether to start. You act automatically. Consistency also creates predictable progress. You know that if you act every day, results will follow. There is no need to wait for perfect conditions. Results are inevitable if the system is maintained. Consistency strengthens self-confidence. When you follow through daily, you trust yourself. You know you can complete tasks. This confidence encourages bigger challenges. The science of behavior change supports tiny wins. Small, repeated victories reinforce consistency. Every small success strengthens the habit. Momentum grows with each tiny win. Consistency also reduces fear of failure. When you act regularly, mistakes are less intimidating. Failure becomes part of the learning process. You build experience and skill incrementally. Behavioral economics highlights loss aversion. People work harder to avoid losing progress than to gain new rewards. Consistency leverages this principle. Once you see progress accumulating, you act to maintain it. Repetition also builds mastery. Skill improves with practice. Small, consistent actions allow mastery over time. No shortcut replaces regular effort. Neuroscience confirms that the brain changes with practice. Neuroplasticity allows your brain to form new connections through repeated behavior. The more consistent you are, the stronger these connections become. Your brain adapts to support success. Consistency is reinforced by environment design. When your surroundings cue the desired behavior, repetition becomes easier. Visual reminders, structured routines, and accessible tools support habitual action. Technology can help reinforce consistency. Apps, timers, and tracking systems provide accountability. Feedback loops increase adherence. You are more likely to act when progress is monitored. Consistency also strengthens emotional regulation. Daily practice builds discipline, reducing impulsive behavior. You learn to delay gratification. You stay focused on long-term results rather than short-term pleasure. The science is clear. Repetition is the engine of achievement. Small, consistent actions build habits, confidence, skill, and momentum. They create resilience, mastery, and predictable results. Here's a practical exercise. Choose one small action aligned with your goal. Commit to doing it daily for 30 days. Track your progress. Observe how the habit strengthens. Notice the momentum it creates. Consistency is the silent multiplier of effort. It turns ordinary actions into extraordinary results. It transforms small efforts into big achievements. Remember, the key is daily action, no matter how small. Every repetition reinforces progress. Every day you act compounds your results. Every small effort matters. The science of consistency proves one thing: big results come from small, repeated actions. Ignore it, and you struggle. Apply it, and success becomes inevitable. Consistency is not luck. It is not magic. It is the natural result of repeated, deliberate, daily action. Start today. Pick one small action. Do it consistently. The results will follow. Chapter 3. Building habits that stick, from effort to routine. Consistency is easier when actions become habits. Habits turn effort into automatic behavior. They reduce the reliance on motivation. They make finishing what matters effortless. Most people struggle because they rely on willpower alone. Willpower is limited. It fluctuates. It fails under stress. Habits bypass willpower. When a habit is formed, the action becomes automatic. You no longer debate whether to do it. You just do it. The first step to building habits is clarity. Define exactly what behavior you want to repeat. Be specific. Vague intentions produce weak results. For example, instead of saying, "I want to exercise more," say, "I will walk for 20 minutes at 7 a.m. every day." Specificity creates structure. Structure makes consistency easier. Next, start small. A tiny habit is easier to maintain than a huge one. For example, write one paragraph daily, not a whole chapter. Do 10 push-ups, not an hour-long workout. Starting small reduces friction. It minimizes resistance. It increases the likelihood of completion. Small wins build momentum. Another principle is habit stacking. Attach a new habit to an existing one. For example, after brushing your teeth, meditate for 2 minutes. After making coffee, write down your top task for the day. Habit stacking leverages existing routines. It reduces the mental effort required. It makes the new habit easier to adopt. Consistency is reinforced by triggers. A trigger is a cue that prompts action. Triggers can be time, location, objects, or previous actions. For example, setting out your workout clothes signals that it's time to exercise. Placing a notebook by your bed reminds you to journal. Cues increase the chance of action automatically. Another key is reward. Every habit requires positive reinforcement. A reward reinforces the behavior. It motivates your brain to repeat the action. The reward can be intrinsic, like feeling energized after exercise, or extrinsic, like marking a checkbox or treating yourself. Reward strengthens the habit loop. Track your habits daily. Tracking creates accountability. It gives visual proof of progress. Momentum grows as streaks increase. Consistency is more important than intensity at first. Focus on showing up every day. Even small action compounds over time. Perfection is not required. Completion is. Avoid relying solely on motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Habits work whether you feel motivated or not. Environment plays a critical role. Design your surroundings to support the habit. Remove obstacles. Add cues that trigger action. The easier the behavior, the more likely it is to occur. Another principle is habit shaping. Gradually increase the difficulty or intensity of the habit. Start with small, manageable actions. Once consistency is established, scale up. For example, begin with 5 minutes of meditation. Increase to 10 minutes. Then 20. Step-by-step growth makes habits stick. Consistency is reinforced by social influence. Surround yourself with people who model the habits you want. Accountability partners, mentors, or supportive communities increase adherence. Do not fear failure. Missing a day is not a reason to quit. Recommit the next day. Consistency is built over time, not perfection. Another key is implementation intentions. Decide in advance when, where, and how you will perform the habit. This reduces decision fatigue. It increases the likelihood of follow-through. For example, instead of saying, "I will write more," say, "I will write at 8 a.m. at my desk every weekday." Planning in advance makes the habit automatic. Habits also create momentum. One successful action encourages the next. Streaks reinforce behavior. Momentum turns small actions into unstoppable progress. Be patient. Habits take time to form. Research shows that habits solidify after consistent repetition for weeks or months. Persistence is essential. Focus on keystone habits. These are habits that influence other areas of your life. For example, daily exercise improves energy, focus, and productivity. Daily journaling improves clarity, decision-making, and emotional resilience. Leverage keystone habits to create a ripple effect. Small, consistent habits in one area produce benefits across your life. Avoid overloading yourself with too many new habits at once. Focus on one or two at a time. Master them. Then add more. This ensures long-term adherence. Another principle is habit reflection. Periodically review your habits. Assess what works and what does not. Refine your approach. Eliminate habits that no longer serve your goals. Technology can reinforce habit building. Use apps to track, remind, and measure progress. Visual streaks provide motivation. Digital accountability strengthens adherence. Rewards, consistency, environment, triggers, and reflection form the backbone of habit formation. Combine these elements, and your habits will become automatic. Effort will feel natural. Consistency will flow. The final principle is identity-based habits. Focus on who you want to become, not just what you want to achieve. Instead of "I want to run a marathon," say, "I am a runner." Instead of "I want to write a book," say, "I am a writer." Your identity shapes your habits. When your actions align with your identity, consistency becomes effortless. Small daily actions reinforce the person you want to be. Here's a practical exercise. Choose one habit to build. Define it clearly. Start small. Stack it onto an existing habit. Set a trigger. Reward yourself. Track your progress. Review weekly. Recommit daily. Habits turn effort into routine. They remove reliance on motivation. They create unstoppable momentum. Small actions repeated consistently lead to big results. Consistency is not about perfection. It is about showing up every day. It is about turning effort into a lifestyle. It is about becoming the person who finishes what matters. Chapter 4. Overcoming Procrastination. The Consistency Antidote. Procrastination is the enemy of consistency. It steals time, energy, and momentum. It keeps you from achieving what matters. Every person procrastinates at some point. Even highly disciplined individuals face it. The key is learning to act despite procrastination. Procrastination often starts with fear. Fear of failure. Fear of imperfection. Fear of judgment. Another cause is overwhelm. Tasks seem too big. You don't know where to start. The mind freezes. Distractions are also a major factor. Social media, notifications, and endless options pull attention away. Energy is wasted. Progress stalls. Consistency is the antidote. Daily, repeated action eliminates the excuses that procrastination feeds on. When you act consistently, procrastination loses power. The first step is awareness. Recognize when you are procrastinating. Notice the triggers. Notice your feelings and thoughts. Next, break tasks into smaller steps. Overwhelm disappears when tasks are manageable. Focus on one small action at a time. Starting becomes easier. Another powerful principle is the 5-minute rule. Commit to working on a task for just 5 minutes. Once you start, momentum carries you forward. The hardest part is always beginning. Eliminate distractions. Create an environment that supports focus. Turn off notifications. Close irrelevant tabs. Remove anything that tempts your attention away from the task. Prioritize tasks. Decide what is most important. Do high-impact work first. Do not let busy work or low-value tasks consume your time. Use time blocking. Schedule focused work periods. Protect these blocks fiercely. Consistency grows when action is structured. Accountability is another antidote to procrastination. Tell someone your goal. Report progress. External pressure increases follow-through. Commit publicly if possible. When others expect action, procrastination is harder to justify. Social accountability reinforces consistency. Understand the cost of delay. Every day you procrastinate, progress is lost. Opportunities diminish. Momentum weakens. Visualize the consequences of inaction. Imagine how unfinished tasks will impact your life. Use this clarity to ignite action. Perfectionism fuels procrastination. Waiting for perfect conditions is a trap. Start imperfectly. Adjust along the way. Progress is more important than perfection. Reward yourself for starting. Even small progress deserves acknowledgement. The positive reinforcement encourages future action. Habit formation combats procrastination effectively. When actions become habits, starting is automatic. You act without overthinking. Consistency becomes effortless. Decision fatigue increases procrastination. Too many choices drain energy and delay action. Simplify decisions. Pre-decide when, where, and how you will act. Use implementation intentions. Decide in advance, I will work on this task at 9 a.m. at my desk for 30 minutes. Pre-planning reduces resistance. Action becomes automatic. Energy management is also critical. Low energy fuels procrastination. Sleep, nutrition, exercise, and rest maintain focus. High energy makes action easier. Create a reward system. Small rewards for completing tasks strengthen consistency. Rewards reinforce action. They build positive associations with effort. Reflection also helps. At the end of each day, review what you accomplished. Identify where procrastination occurred. Adjust strategies to prevent it in the future. Remember, procrastination is often a habit. Habits can be changed. Replace procrastination with a consistent action habit. Repetition rewires behavior. Momentum is the antidote. Once you begin acting daily, procrastination loses its grip. The longer the streak, the easier starting becomes. Momentum feeds consistency. Time management supports anti-procrastination efforts. Prioritize high-impact tasks. Focus on completion. Avoid multitasking. Protect your productive periods. Another principle is self-discipline. Consistency grows discipline over time. Daily action strengthens willpower. Discipline reduces the need for constant motivation. The 80-20th principle applies. Focus on the 20% of actions that produce 80% of results. High-impact effort reduces wasted time and procrastination. Procrastination thrives in chaos. Structure and planning eliminate uncertainty. Define clear next steps. Clarity creates action. Start today. Pick one task you've been avoiding. Commit to working on it for 5 minutes. Take one small step. Momentum will carry you forward. Consistency is the antidote to procrastination. Daily action beats hesitation. Small, repeated steps overcome fear, doubt, and distraction. Momentum compounds. Results follow. Remember this. Procrastination is temporary. Consistency is permanent. Every step you take builds habit, skill, and momentum. Every day you act strengthens discipline and resilience. Consistency transforms procrastination into progress. It turns hesitation into action. It turns small steps into big results. The choice is yours. Act now. Take the first step. Build momentum. Be consistent. procrastination loses. Chapter 5. The Role of Discipline. How to show up every day. Consistency requires discipline. Discipline is the bridge between goals and results. Without discipline, showing up daily becomes impossible. Many people confuse motivation with discipline. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. Discipline is unwavering. It ensures action, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is a choice. It is a commitment to take action regardless of circumstances. It is the ability to delay gratification. It is the ability to prioritize long-term results over short-term comfort. Showing up every day is not easy. Life is unpredictable. Energy fluctuates. Distractions appear. Challenges arise. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward. It is the engine behind momentum. It is what transforms small efforts into significant results. The first step to discipline is clarity of purpose. Know why you are taking action. A clear why fuels persistence. It keeps you moving when motivation fades. Next, develop self-awareness. Notice when you avoid action. Identify triggers that lead to distraction. Understand your patterns of resistance. Awareness is the first step to mastery. Create structured routines. Discipline thrives in structure. Schedule your most important actions at consistent times. Reduce decision fatigue. Make showing up automatic. Break tasks into manageable steps. Discipline is easier when tasks feel achievable. Overwhelm reduces consistency. Small, deliberate actions strengthen discipline. Eliminate excuses. Excuses are the enemy of showing up. Replace "I'm too tired" with "I will take one small step." Replace "I don't have time" with "I will start now." Another principle is accountability. Share your goals with someone who will hold you responsible. Report progress regularly. External accountability reinforces internal discipline. Focus on one task at a time. Multitasking divides attention. It weakens discipline. Deep focus on one action strengthens consistency. Discipline grows with habit formation. Repeated action reduces reliance on willpower. Habits make showing up effortless. Your brain no longer debates whether to act. Energy management supports discipline. Lack of sleep, poor nutrition, and stress weaken resolve. Taking care of your body ensures you have the energy to act daily. Practice delayed gratification. Choose long-term gains over short-term pleasure. Discipline grows when you prioritize what matters most. Every small act of self-control strengthens your capacity to persist. Another key is visualization and mental rehearsal. Imagine yourself showing up consistently. Visualize completing tasks. See yourself acting despite resistance. This mental practice reinforces real-world behavior. Set clear priorities. Focus on actions that have the greatest impact. Discipline is not about doing everything. It is about doing what matters most, consistently. Use micro-actions to maintain momentum. Even small steps count. Starting is often the hardest part. Once you begin, momentum carries you forward. Track your progress. Seeing streaks of completion strengthens discipline. Daily action compounds over time. Consistency becomes a habit. Avoid perfectionism. Waiting for perfect conditions erodes discipline. Start imperfectly. Improve along the way. Action matters more than perfection. Discipline also involves resilience. Setbacks will occur. Mistakes will happen. Life will interrupt your plans. Showing up despite adversity is what builds discipline. Use implementation intentions. Decide in advance when, where, and how you will act. For example, I will write for 20 minutes at 7 a.m. at my desk. This pre-planning reduces friction. It makes daily action automatic. Celebrate small wins. Recognition reinforces effort. Momentum grows as consistency builds. Daily victories strengthen your identity as a person who shows up. Discipline is also about identity. See yourself as the type of person who acts consistently. I am someone who shows up daily. Identity shapes behavior. The more you internalize this, the easier discipline becomes. Another strategy is environment design. Remove distractions. Add cues that support action. Set up your workspace to make showing up easy. The environment either supports or sabotages discipline. Learn to manage internal dialogue. Negative self-talk erodes discipline. Replace "I can't" with "I will take one step." Replace "it's too hard" with "I will start small." Discipline compounds over time. Each day you show up, your ability to persist strengthens. Each streak reinforces your habits. Momentum grows. Results multiply. Remember, discipline is not a trait you were born with. It is a skill you build. Every act of showing up strengthens it. Every day you act, it grows stronger. Here's a practical exercise. Pick one area where consistency is lacking. Define one small, achievable action. Commit to doing it every day for 30 days. Track your progress. Recommit daily, no matter the circumstances. Discipline ensures that small actions are repeated. It transforms effort into habit. It converts intention into results. It turns consistency into success. Finally, understand this. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. Consistency without discipline fades. Discipline without consistency produces limited results. Together, they create unstoppable momentum. Show up every day, even when you don't feel like it. Even when life is hard. Even when motivation is low. Every day you act, you reinforce habits. Habits produce momentum. Momentum compounds over time. The third principle is tracking progress. Measurement reinforces action. Tracking allows you to see growth. Even small improvements become motivating when documented. For example, track your weight loss, savings, writing, or skills daily. Visual progress builds confidence. It strengthens commitment to continue. The fourth principle is accountability. Share your small actions with someone. Accountability reinforces consistency. It ensures that daily effort continues. Small wins are powerful psychologically. They build confidence. They reinforce identity. I am someone who takes consistent action. This identity becomes self-perpetuating. Over time, the compound effect creates massive results. It turns effort into habit. Habit into momentum. Momentum into achievement. The compound effect also works in reverse. Negative choices compound too. Skipping exercise, neglecting tasks, or poor financial decisions accumulate losses. Small daily errors create long-term setbacks. This is why discipline is critical. Consistency without attention to positive habits can compound negative effects. Every choice matters. The compound effect thrives on incremental improvement. Focus on 1% better each day. Small improvements may seem negligible initially. Over weeks and months, they produce astonishing results. For example, reading 10 pages daily seems small. In 1 year, it totals 3,650 pages. This could equal 12 to 15 books. Small effort, repeated, yields exponential knowledge growth. Another example is financial savings. Saving $5 per day seems trivial. Over a year, it becomes $1,825. Over decades, with compound interest, it grows into a fortune. Momentum is a key component of the compound effect. Once small wins accumulate, action becomes easier. Consistency builds itself. Success feeds success. The compound effect also strengthens resilience. Small, repeated victories prove that effort works. You gain confidence in your ability to take action. Challenges become manageable. Visualization reinforces the compound effect. Imagine the cumulative impact of your daily actions. See yourself achieving your goal. This mental rehearsal motivates consistent action. The compound effect is evident in all fields of life. Athletes practice daily, even when motivation fades. Musicians rehearse regularly, mastering their craft. Entrepreneurs take small steps toward growth consistently. Every small action compounds into mastery and success. Another key is celebrating small wins. Acknowledgement reinforces behavior. Every completed task strengthens habit. Momentum grows with each victory. Avoid the trap of instant gratification. The compound effect rewards patience and persistence. Quick fixes rarely produce lasting results. Long-term consistency is the key. The compound effect is also about focus. Concentrate on high-impact activities. Not all actions compound equally. Prioritize what produces meaningful results. For example, writing daily compounds into a book. Excessive social media scrolling compounds into wasted time. Small wins in the right areas create exponential growth. Reflection strengthens the compound effect. Review your progress regularly. Adjust strategies for greater efficiency. Continuous improvement accelerates results. Here's a practical exercise. Identify one area of your life to improve. Choose one small action aligned with your goal. Commit to doing it daily for 30 days. Track progress. Reflect weekly. Notice how small wins accumulate over time. The compound effect turns ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement. It is the reason small, consistent actions win over sporadic bursts of effort. Patience, persistence, and repetition are the keys. Remember, small wins matter. Every choice compounds. Every action contributes. Momentum builds silently. Big results are inevitable if you remain consistent. The compound effect is a reminder. What you do today shapes your tomorrow. Small, smart, consistent actions create the life you want. Ignore them, and losses accumulate. Apply them, and success compounds exponentially. Consistency wins. Small wins grow into victories. Effort repeated daily multiplies. Momentum transforms ordinary into extraordinary. Chapter 8. Energy and Environment. Setting yourself up for daily success. Consistency is fueled by energy. Energy is the currency of action. Without sufficient energy, showing up daily becomes difficult. Most people underestimate the role of energy. They focus solely on time management. But time alone is useless without the ability to act. Energy determines how effectively you perform each day. Physical energy is foundational. Sleep is critical. Lack of rest reduces focus, discipline, and productivity. Aim for consistent, quality sleep. Even small improvements in sleep enhance daily performance. Nutrition fuels energy. The foods you consume impact mental clarity and stamina. Eat balanced meals. Avoid excessive sugar and processed foods. Fuel your body with nutrients that sustain energy throughout the day. Exercise is another key. Regular movement increases stamina and resilience. It improves focus and mood. Even a short daily workout compounds into long-term vitality. Hydration is often overlooked. Water supports energy, concentration, and metabolism. Dehydration reduces efficiency and alertness. Drink consistently throughout the day. Mental energy is equally important. Stress, worry, and overthinking drain mental resources. Manage stress through mindfulness, meditation, or journaling. Protect your mind to maintain focus and consistency. Emotional energy also matters. Negative emotions like fear, anger, or frustration reduce motivation. Cultivate positive emotions through gratitude, visualization, and reflection. Energy is amplified when emotions are managed. Environment influences energy and consistency. Your surroundings either support or sabotage action. A cluttered space creates mental friction. Distractions pull attention away from important tasks. Design your environment intentionally. Remove distractions. Keep your workspace organized. Place cues that trigger productive action. For example, if writing is your goal, keep your notebook or laptop ready. If exercise is your goal, Place workout clothes where you can see them. Visual cues simplify decision-making. They reduce friction and support consistency. Another environmental principle is context association. Link certain spaces with specific actions. Your brain will automatically associate the environment with behavior. For example, a desk can become a writing zone. A quiet corner can become a meditation space. Repetition reinforces these associations. Limit exposure to energy-draining influences. Avoid people, activities, or environments that drain motivation. Protect your energy. Guard your consistency. Technology can be both a tool and a distraction. Use it strategically. Turn off notifications during focus periods. Leverage apps for productivity and habit tracking. Digital tools should reinforce, not hinder, daily action. Energy management also includes timing tasks according to natural rhythms. Identify periods of peak energy and schedule high-impact work during these times. Perform routine or low-energy tasks during natural lulls. Discipline is reinforced by surroundings. Visualization can enhance environmental effectiveness. Mentally rehearse completing tasks in your optimized environment. This primes your brain for smooth execution. Social environment matters too. Surround yourself with people who support your goals. Avoid those who drain energy or discourage action. Positive social reinforcement strengthens consistency. Energy and environment also influence focus and flow. When physical and mental energy is high, concentration improves. Distractions fade. Flow becomes achievable. Momentum accelerates. Another principle is preparation. Prepare tools, materials, and resources in advance. Reduce friction by having everything ready for action. Preparation removes excuses and increases follow-through. Self-care supports energy. Regular sleep, balanced nutrition, physical activity, and mental breaks build sustainable stamina. Consistency is easier when your body and mind are supported. The environment should signal the behavior you want to reinforce. Visual cues, organized spaces, and structured routines remind you of action. Momentum grows when surroundings encourage daily effort. Track your energy patterns. Notice when you are most alert and focused. Schedule high-impact work accordingly. Consistency thrives when energy aligns with action. Accountability and social reinforcement strengthen the effect of environment and energy. Sharing goals and progress encourages adherence. External support complements internal discipline. Here's a practical exercise. Analyze your environment. Identify distractions and remove them. Create visual cues for your habits. Track energy levels throughout the day. Schedule high-focus tasks during peak energy. Include regular recovery periods. Remember, consistency is not just about effort. It is about smart effort. Energy and environment set the stage for daily success. Optimize both, and small actions become automatic. Consistency compounds when energy is high. Environment supports habits. Momentum grows naturally. Big results follow from small, daily actions in the right conditions. Small changes in energy management and environment produce massive results over time. Daily habits are easier. Focus is stronger. Flow is achievable. Momentum compounds exponentially. Energy plus environment equals daily success conditions. Consistency thrives in this setup. Small, repeated efforts, performed in an optimized state, create extraordinary outcomes. Set up your energy and environment. Show up every day. Take small, deliberate actions. Watch momentum build. Observe results multiply. This is how small efforts become big victories. Chapter 9. Tracking and measuring progress. Keep the momentum going. Consistency without measurement can feel like wandering in the dark. Tracking progress turns effort into clarity. It provides direction, motivation, and accountability. Most people take action without tracking results. They show up inconsistently. They guess whether their efforts are working. This leads to frustration and burnout. Measurement gives feedback. It shows what works and what doesn't. It highlights strengths and exposes weaknesses. Tracking transforms effort into actionable insight. The first step is clarity on what to track. Define meaningful metrics aligned with your goals. If your goal is fitness, track workouts, steps, or calories. If your goal is writing, track words written daily. If your goal is productivity, track tasks completed or time spent focused. Track consistently. Daily tracking builds habit and awareness. It shows trends over time. Even small improvements become visible. Use visual tools. Checklists, spreadsheets, or apps make progress tangible. Seeing streaks builds momentum. It motivates continued effort. Another key principle is measurement of both input and output. Input is the effort you put in daily. Output is the result produced. Tracking both ensures that consistent effort aligns with desired results. For example, you can track the number of pages written, input, and chapters completed, output. Input without output may indicate inefficiency. Output without input may be unsustainable. Balance both for effective growth. Tracking also increases accountability. When progress is recorded, it becomes harder to skip action. External accountability partners or apps reinforce internal consistency. Another principle is breaking goals into milestones. Large goals can feel overwhelming. Small milestones make progress measurable and rewarding. Each milestone achieved reinforces momentum and confidence. Reflection is part of measurement. Review tracked data regularly. Analyze trends and patterns. Identify what produces results. Refine actions based on insight. Tracking progress strengthens motivation. Seeing small wins accumulate creates excitement. Momentum builds naturally. The brain craves progress, and visible measurement satisfies this drive. Consistency is reinforced by tracking streaks. Daily checkmarks or streak counts provide visual proof of effort. Breaking a streak highlights the cost of inconsistency. Streaks make habit maintenance easier and more engaging. Another principle is celebrating progress. Acknowledging accomplishments reinforces behavior. Even minor victories deserve recognition. Positive reinforcement encourages continued effort. Tracking also reduces procrastination. When metrics are monitored, avoidance becomes visible. Data encourages action. You are more likely to act when progress is measured. Energy and focus are better aligned when tracking is applied. When you know what matters and see progress, decision-making is easier. Priorities become clear. Momentum accelerates. Technology can amplify tracking. Apps, timers, and habit trackers provide immediate feedback. They make progress visible and measurable. Notifications remind you to stay on track. Consistency is strengthened when tracking includes qualitative feedback. Numbers are important, but reflection on how you feel and what you learn enhances growth. Journaling your experience provides context to raw metrics. The compound effect multiplies when tracking is applied. Small, repeated actions, recorded daily, accumulate into visible achievement. Each checkmark represents progress, reinforcing the habit loop. Avoid perfectionism in tracking. The goal is progress, not flawless data. Even approximate tracking maintains momentum. Action matters more than perfect measurement. Tracking also helps identify obstacles. Patterns of missed action reveal challenges. You can adjust your environment, energy, or approach to overcome barriers. Insight reduces friction and strengthens consistency. Another principle is rewarding achievement. When milestones are met, reward yourself. It reinforces behavior. It motivates continued effort. Visualization complements tracking. Mentally reviewing progress enhances motivation. Seeing yourself succeed reinforces action. Tracking creates tangible evidence of mental visualization. Small actions become habits when tracked. Habits produce consistency. Consistency compounds results. Tracking ensures the cycle continues. Here's a practical exercise. Identify one key area of growth. Decide what metrics to track. Record progress daily. Reflect weekly. Adjust actions based on insights. Celebrate milestones. Recommit consistently. Tracking progress also creates clarity of effort. You understand where to focus energy. You avoid wasted effort. You maximize results for minimal wasted time. Accountability partners enhance tracking. Sharing metrics publicly or privately increases adherence. External oversight reinforces internal consistency. Remember, momentum is built on visible progress. When action is measured, it feels meaningful. Every completed task, every small win, reinforces habit and builds momentum. Consistency becomes automatic when tracking reinforces action. Progress is motivating. Momentum compounds. Results grow exponentially. Tracking progress is not optional for serious growth. It transforms small daily efforts into measurable victories. It converts routine action into significant achievement. It keeps momentum alive, even during challenges. Small steps, tracked consistently, lead to big wins. Data reinforces habit. Habits reinforce consistency. Consistency produces results. Momentum ensures long-term success. Chapter 10. Mastery and Momentum. How to turn consistency into a lifestyle. Consistency is powerful. Momentum accelerates results. Mastery is the outcome. Together, they create a lifestyle of achievement. Most people approach goals as one-off projects. They work in bursts. They burn out. Results are temporary. A lifestyle of consistency transforms effort into permanent growth. Daily action becomes natural. Momentum compounds. Mastery emerges. The first principle is repetition. Mastery requires repeated practice. Skills are developed through persistent, focused effort. Small steps, taken daily, accumulate into expertise. Talent alone is insufficient. Consistency beats talent when talent is inconsistent. Mastery is earned through dedication, repetition, and focus. Momentum amplifies the effect. The second principle is incremental improvement. Focus on getting 1% better each day. Small, daily gains compound over time. The result is exponential progress. Momentum grows when small wins accumulate. Each victory builds confidence. Each streak reinforces habit. Action becomes automatic. Another key is habit integration. Make productive actions part of your daily routine. When effort becomes habitual, consistency is effortless. Habits form the backbone of mastery. Focus multiplies momentum. When you act with intention, small actions produce larger results. Distraction drains energy. Concentration amplifies effort. Mastery also requires reflection and adjustment. Regularly review your actions and outcomes. Identify what works. Eliminate what doesn't. Continuous refinement accelerates progress. Accountability reinforces lifestyle consistency. Share goals and progress with supportive partners. External feedback maintains focus and discipline. Momentum strengthens as streaks continue. Another principle is energy management. Sustained effort requires physical, mental, and emotional energy. Optimize sleep, nutrition, exercise, and recovery. High energy ensures daily action is consistent and effective. Environment plays a critical role. Organize your space for action. Remove distractions. Add cues that trigger productive behavior. A supportive environment amplifies consistency. Consistency and momentum create a feedback loop. Daily action builds habit. Habit builds momentum. Momentum produces results. Results reinforce daily action. Mastery emerges naturally from this loop. The person who shows up every day compounds skill, knowledge, and capability. Over time, this creates expertise and confidence. Another key principle is resilience. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable. Mastery requires persistence despite obstacles. Momentum softens the impact of failures. Consistency allows recovery and progress. The compound effect is evident in mastery. Small actions repeated consistently produce extraordinary outcomes. Incremental improvement builds skill. Daily effort grows momentum. Momentum leads to mastery. Visualization reinforces lifestyle consistency. Imagine yourself performing actions daily. See yourself progressing, improving, and achieving. Mental rehearsal strengthens commitment and focus. Discipline underpins mastery. Showing up every day, even without motivation, produces results. Consistency and discipline are inseparable. They form the foundation of sustainable achievement. Time is essential. Mastery cannot be rushed. Patience allows small actions to compound. Momentum grows quietly but powerfully. Focus on systems, not just goals. Goals are outcomes. Systems are the daily actions that lead to results. Mastery is a result of well-designed, consistently executed systems. Another principle is celebrating milestones. Acknowledging small wins reinforces behavior. It strengthens identity as someone who is consistent and competent. Momentum compounds with each recognized achievement. Identity shapes behavior. See yourself as a consistent achiever. I am someone who shows up daily. This mindset reinforces daily action. It turns consistency into a natural lifestyle. Reflection and adaptation are ongoing. Track progress. Analyze outcomes. Adjust strategies. Continuous improvement ensures that momentum is sustainable and mastery continues to grow. Energy, environment, focus, discipline, and systems all interact. They form the foundation of lifestyle consistency. Mastery emerges when these elements align. Here's a practical exercise. Choose one area to master. Define daily actions that move you forward. Track progress consistently. Reflect weekly. Adjust strategies. Celebrate small wins. Commit to long-term repetition. Momentum turns effort into habit. Habit turns action into identity. Identity turns consistent effort into mastery. Consistency becomes effortless. Progress becomes inevitable. Small steps repeated daily create extraordinary results. Momentum compounds silently. Consistency shapes lifestyle. Mastery becomes natural. You become unstoppable. Remember, mastery is not a destination. It is a process. It is the accumulation of small, deliberate actions performed daily. Momentum amplifies effort. Consistency ensures growth. Live consistency as a lifestyle. Show up every day. Take small, meaningful actions. Build momentum. Refine continuously. Celebrate progress. Mastery will follow. Consistency is the engine. Momentum is the fuel. Mastery is the destination. Together, they create a life of achievement, purpose, and fulfillment. Your journey begins now. Commit to daily action. Focus on progress, not perfection. Your journey begins now. The path to extraordinary results is paved with daily action. Commit to it. Follow it. Live it. Consistency wins. Small efforts become big results. Your future is created by what you do today. Take the first step. Keep moving forward. And never stop showing up.